All right, guys. Hey, what's up, team? Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are well today. See, I feel much better today, man. I ate one of those acid reducers before bed last night. I feel way better. Man, listen to my voice. I wish my voice could sound like this every day. Sound like Batman. Hello. Chocolate rain. You know. I wish my voice would stay like this. You know, within 10 minutes, it's going to be super hot. Solana is great. Yeah, Solana has been running a lot lately. So we covered that in our crypto show yesterday regarding Solana. Today we have jobless claims, unemployment numbers. Bitcoin up to 37,000 here. A lot of people talking about that spot ETF approval. SPY up a little bit today as well. Yesterday broke the green streak in the SPY. You know, the SPY had ended green every day. Did it end green yesterday? Let me make sure it didn't. Yeah, so yesterday was the first red day in 8 days on the SPY and the S&P. So all right. Today we got jobless claims numbers and then Powell later. So that'll be fun. I'm looking at Bloomberg to make sure we don't have anything else dropping here. All right, so yeah, jobless claims. We got FOMC member Bostic speaking at 9:30. We got Mexico CPI dropping just now. So Mexican CPI just dropped. It came in at 4.26% year over year, 0.38%. So 0.01% better than expected, but lower than expected. So that's good. What else do we have today? Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, again, we got Powell later on today that we're going to stream, of course. It's going to be a panel with the International Monetary Fund. SPY is still breaking that nice, beautiful uptrend. You love to see it up to almost 440s right now. If we look at the Q or Tesla, Q up to 373 basically. Tesla sitting at 220 still. So market looks good. Nvidia has been one of the stocks to blame for this latest run up. You know, Nvidia has been killing it the last few days. Another green day yesterday for Nvidia. Nvidia has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green days in a row, including yesterday. So that's definitely one of the reasons it's up so much. Yeah, Powell speaks at 2 p.m. today. Y'all be ready. Blame AMD. Yeah, that's actually true, Yair. It is AMD's fault. AMD sparked Nvidia's run with good earnings. We covered the earnings call for them, and yeah, that's great. I'm happy for it. You know, AMD sparked the run. Jobless claims expected at 215K, but Nvidia is what sparked the year run, like the run we've had this year. Or no, jobless claims are expected at 215K. And I think we're very close. Let me see what my subs are at right now. I know we're pretty close. Yeah, we need 110 subscribers to break we'll hit that today for sure to break 118K. We're really pushing towards 120,000, you know. Yeah. Do you think crypto stocks are worth a trade long today? I mean, I think it's possible, Hugh. I have no idea what anything's going to do. I always tell people that, you know, I think traders that watch live streams need to be less reliant on what people like me think are going to happen and come up with their own, you know, theses regarding trading. I think it's important. I think nobody knows where anything's going to go. Nobody does. And so I'm definitely not going to say, yeah, buy long today in crypto. You know, because I really have no idea. And crypto's up a lot. I think the big play with crypto right now is, you know, you have to think whether you think the ETF is going, like whether you think a spot ETF is going to be approved within the next month or two, right? If you think a spot ETF is going to be approved in the next month, it might be a good kind of front loading scenario where you get in early in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies into anticipation of that. And once that approval is reported, you see some big bounces up. You know, if that is approved, it's probably going to bring Bitcoin back, I would say, to at least 50K. You know, we're almost to 40K now for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin looking great. So yeah, like that's certainly possible. And again, that's the question you want to ask yourself, is whether you think the Bitcoin spot ETF is going to be approved. If it is, that's the play in crypto. And again, Bitcoin up a lot today too. Again, if we look at, I was looking at crypto earlier, Bitcoin earlier. Here's Bitcoin's, here's the other futures Bitcoin symbol, and it's at over 37,000 right now, almost to 40K again. And if the spot ETF is approved, it's almost certainly going to bump up over 40K to something. So we'll see. Let me know if you guys think it will or won't get approved. Let me do a poll here. Is almost certainly going to bump up over 40. All right, so we did the poll. Would Jobless claim to come in higher or lower than the 215K expected number? Vote on that poll right there. We got that poll live. Hey, what's up, Pawn? What's going on the internet today, guys? All right, guys, so we got to cover the earnings today, too. Again, AMC posted better than expected results yesterday. Finally started rebounding early in pre-market this morning. Back up green in pre-market and extended hours for AMC. We can also look at, like, what were the other earnings yesterday? Disney had a great earnings report. We're profiting nicely from that one, all the way up to $88 a share. So you love to see it. Am I green today? No, we're flat. It's all right. Yeah, that ARM trade. MGM finally went green. Did they report earnings yesterday? I believe they did. Let me see. Yeah, they did. Good. All right. Well, hey, we're nicely up on MGM. I think we're just going to let this run, though. I believe in MGM as a company. I think they're going to be fine. Hey, what's up? Yeah, thank you. I watch John because he's fun and sometimes I get an edge. Hey, thanks so much. We cover NVDA earnings, pre-market, I think. We'll cover it. I mean, yeah, we'll talk about it. We're not going to stream the earnings call for it. It's just too small cap of a company, but we're going to cover it for sure. All right, so SEC Chairman Gary Gensler said the FTX crypto exchange could be rebooted under new leadership. Is he wrong? Let me know. All right, guys. Again, SPY at 438, Tesla at 220s. Market close tomorrow? No. What's tomorrow? What holiday is tomorrow? Yeah, I'm up in Disney earnings too. That's what I'm saying. Like the haters on Disney, like Disney will finally go red relative to where I entered or something, and they'll be like, see, and then within a week or two later at least, Disney's up to $88 a share, and I'm sitting very nicely green. My average price is $80, just to put it into perspective right now for Disney. We're holding a small piece. We took a little bit off yesterday on the initial spike from their earnings, and so yeah, feels good. Tesla finally pulling back a little bit here. Again, I'm holding Tesla for the Cybertruck debut. You know, I'm up in it. I'm holding it. Yeah, I know about Diwali from The Office TV show. There's an episode on it in The Office. All right. Again, will the Bitcoin ETF get approved by December 10th? I think it's the date they're talking about. Was there a debate yesterday? I could have covered it. I'm just burnt out. Why is back end so hard and front end so easy? No, because back end is more like databases. It's definitely more, there's more layers to back end than there are to front end, is really why back end programming is harder. Yeah, like MySQL, all those back end database aspects of it. And because of that front end, while there, you know, you can have a lot of components in something like React, but front ends, for me, front end's much easier. I like front end way better. I'm a more of a design person anyway, though. All right, guys. So look at the SPY under the volume weighted average price. We'll see if we get some good data here. But try. See what quant power is looking like today. Get ready to trade some here. Got some moves up. Oh, it's top stack X. Okay, so my balance actually transferred. I think I had to switch. Okay, cool. All right, dope. So that means we can actually trade on it effectively today. Because I don't mind resetting. How much it is to reset? Okay, resets it back up. Oh, I almost drank old coffee, guys. Stop myself. Wait. That's the second or third time I almost drank that old coffee. You have to put that down. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Asif? Raphael. Earthquake in Texas yesterday. Really? I didn't hear about it. I'm in Texas. All right, guys. Again, Tesla down a little bit today. We do have jobless claims numbers. I'm gonna put a timer up here. All right, so it is 7:20. So we got like an hour and what? 11 and a half minutes. Yeah. All right, so that's the timer for jobless claims numbers. You can see what we're expecting. Crypto massive bull market. Yeah, it depends on if the ETF gets approved. If the ETF does not get approved, that's going to be really, really, really bad. What's up, Chuck? Yeah, Money Mitch had been saying SEC Chair Gary Gensler saying FTX crypto exchange could be rebooted under new leadership. He said, "Yeah, I for one will let this brand die." I think so as well. I made a short on this not too long ago, and what I said was like, look, nobody is going to trust an updated, rebooted FTX exchange. Nobody will trust them, like at all. Like nobody's going to trust them. Like it doesn't make business sense to do so. You know. Yeah. Hey John, around what time is Jay Powell speaking today? He's speaking at 2 p.m. AMC holding okay. People freaked out yesterday here in the aftermarket. Have some faith. It was really good earnings report. The biggest issue was the strike. Yeah, I think so as well. I think it was a good report for AMC, believe it or not. Much better than expected earnings. Much better than expected. Much smaller than expected loss per share. And I think that's a great sign. And again, I'm in AMC, so naturally I want it to go up. But all my exes live in Texas. Most of mine are in Louisiana. You know, I live in Texas. Most of mine live in Louisiana. Yeah, Nvidia. So unusual whale saying the surprising resilience of American consumers is about to be tested over the coming months as rising delinquencies, growing debt payments, and dwindling cash piles put pressure on household balance sheets per Bloomberg. Yeah, I think one of the things that have made the people like scared is I think one of the things that have been making people scared is like the Fed's been raising rates, and the rate hikes do have like a lag effect, so they're not just going to kick in immediately and help inflation go down. They're going to take time, but like one of the problems is like the Fed's been aggressively raising rates for well over a year now, and the job market, which is one of the things that these rate hikes are like, the economy in general, I guess is a better way to put it, which is one of the things that these rate hikes are supposed to curb a little bit, has been very resilient and growing. People keep spending, and so what's it going to take to get people to stop spending? I don't know. Yeah, Lyft posted earnings yesterday too. We do this not because it's easy, but because we thought it would be easy. Mega cap stocks are now outperforming small cap stocks by the largest margin since the peak of the dot-com bubble. Is that a shock? Though small caps are crap. Yeah, man, what a crazy world we're living in, dude. It's one thing you see on social media, some. Yeah, so Disney just did. Yeah, so Disney just did 3.428 billion free cash flow in one quarter. They did 1.06 billion free cash flow for all of 2022. So Disney doing great. That's one of the reasons Disney's gapping up so much right now, is because so much free cash flow is good for them. We got Big Papa Jerome Powell coming out hot today. He should say something economic wise. I don't know enough about Dutch Bros, Mopar. I'm a big racing guy though, not really like a Mopar guy. I'm more of like a JDM. I grew up in the Fast and Furious age, so like I grew up in like the early 2000s, really. When I was like a teenager, it was like early 2000s. And so, but I'm a big car guy. So shout out to you, man. But yeah, it is. Sorry, let me catch up. Yeah, Solana going crazy. But yeah, I don't know enough about Dutch bros to really say anything. I've never been to one here, so I could look at the stock and see that like they originally reacted well to earnings and then gave it all back yesterday. Still up over the last few days, but not a ton. Yeah, I mean, Yowzer, I think what you're mistaken though is that kids do want to watch the movies that they're producing. Now they're odd. They're, you know, like kids definitely still want to watch some of them at least. What's an unwritten rule of most people in society that you decided to break? Using A1 sauce on my steaks at fancy restaurants for sure. Bro, I don't care how fancy the restaurant is, dude. I want sauce on my steak. You know, you can't let me have steak sauce with bad steaks. And then when I eat really good steaks, be like, nah, you got to just taste the moisture. Like, get out of here, bro. I'm eating sauce on it. You know? I don't care if it makes me less snooty or fancy. That's actually a plus in my mind. They made some movies that were very expensive but didn't do well. Yeah, for sure, 100%. But I mean, that is what it is. Making me want to steak and eggs now. Yeah, I mean, but anytime you're producing as many movies as so Steve Burns actually replied to me. So I posted on Twitter because he was the one that posted that original question regarding what's an unwritten rule most people in society that you decided to break. And so my response was using A1 sauce on my steaks at fancy restaurants. Because like every time I go for it, I'm like, hey, like I'm gonna ask for some steak sauce. My wife's like, no. If we're at like a fancy restaurant where the steak is like $100 or whatever it is, my wife's like, no, you can't. I'm like, dude, I'm asking for some steak sauce, and you know they have it too. And so if they have it, I'm gonna ask for it. But yeah, Steve Burns, which is a pretty big Twitter guy, he's got like 600,000 followers. He said, I've used ketchup and got stares. You know? Bro, you legit look like my senior dev at work. It's uncanny. I gotta show him one day. Any gold advice, guys? Where's gold at this morning? Gold went all the way up to 2,000, tapped it, and then came right back there. All right. Again, SPY almost up to 440s. SPY basically tapped 440 yesterday at the close. I don't know if that was a real legit candle. Might just be a random order getting filled up there. But still, SPY definitely looking pretty strong here. John Carter was actually a good movie though, Yowzer. Like John Carter was like a legit good movie, dude. Like I don't know why it flopped. I think, what happened though with the movie, like with stocks like Disney, right? Like the problem is that movies like John Carter flop, right? And in that regard, like they flop, and then Disney sees that and decides to only make like sure things because Disney doesn't want to lose money anymore. And so what happens over time, not just with Disney, but like a lot of these big movie studios and movies in general, like the movie landscape in general, what happens over time is that flops like John Carter, right? Which was like a, it was like a, it was a good movie, but flops like John Carter cause these movie studios to be less creative in their movie making moving forward. So instead of being creative and taking risks in movies, they end up going for the sure thing. And like when that replicates over and over again and snowballs, that's where we get where we are now, where there's not a lot of creativity in movies. We're just kind of seeing remake after remake after remake after sequel after remake, and I think they're starting to get some backlash from that. Not Disney specifically, but all movie studios in general, right? We're starting to just see backlash. All right, Unusual Whale said Double Line Capital's Jeffrey Gunlock has said, quote, the Fed's decision to keep its target range for its benchmark rate unchanged leaves the door, quote, wide open for it to act if the economy slips into a recession. So basically they can keep rate hikes in there, on their belt potential. Bro, me and the wife like picking up some ginger sauce for our Outback. Sauce is good. We take it to other restaurants because it's that good. Yeah. $100 steak is the steak a QQQ 0 day till expiry option. Honestly, bro, I ate the most expensive steak I ever had in my life on my 10-year anniversary with Carol like a couple months ago, bro. Most expensive steak I ever had in my life. I talked about it that day. Can y'all guess how much I paid for this steak? For one piece of steak, it was like 6 ounces. Can you guess how much I paid for one steak? It was like 6. It might have been 8 ounces. I don't know, but I paid a lot for a steak. Y'all know. $75, $85. I'm not trying to laugh, but so I paid for one steak it was like $3.25 or something like that. It was like $3.25 and in total, and like steaks, I got Carol some too. I paid like $4.50 or something for some steak. It was Kobe grade A beef or whatever it is, like marble grade A whatever. So it was Kobe beef steak. It was Kobe steak or like whatever it's called. I never tried it. I wanted to try it. I splurged a little bit. It was my 10-year anniversary, so like I kind of splurged. Yeah, it was like $3.20, $3.30. I ended up paying like $4 something after Carol got hers. So it was good. It was really good. But was it $400 worth? Nah, I guess it's subjective. I'm not gonna buy it again. Not anytime soon. You know, I saved some for my kids, and then I even gave a piece to Rosie. I felt bad. Rosie ate like a $30 piece of like snip of steak. uh, Most spoiled dog in the world right there. This was before we had Bruce. Spy pop it over the volume weighted average price though. Look at the VWAP. It's at 438s right now. 438s. They got you. Yeah, I mean, again, it was a fancy restaurant, but Kobe steak is expensive, brother. Like if you look up how much does Kobe beef? I think it was like A4 or A5. I don't know what it was. It might have been A4. Um, uh, I don't know if a lower number. Yeah, so it was A5 is what it was. It was an A5 Kobe beef. So which is more marble. So it was, how much is 8 ounces Kobe A5 beef? Yeah, Kobe A5 beef, $350 is what that costs. You know what I mean? So it's expensive. It's the right. You know what I mean? It's expensive, and this is raw, so this isn't cooked. So yeah, it's hella expensive, but it was good. It just wasn't, you know, it wasn't $400 good. All right, guys. Hey, jobless claims coming soon. All right, team. All right, so AMC trending again. Again, AMC sitting at 1020s right now for AMC. Look at it. Would you look at that? AMC up to 1020s, 1030s. Any other big news today? Let me check. Again, we had Mexico CPI drop. Bank of America Institute reports October credit and debit card spending per household is down 0.5% year over year. Previously, it was up 0.7% in September, down 0.2% month to month. Previous up 0.2% in September. So credit card spending is down. That's the first good step of potentially discouraging spending. Goldman Sachs raises its China 24 GDP forecast to 4.8 from 4.5%. Amazon now offering grocery delivery and free pickup to customers in all U.S. cities and towns where Amazon Fresh is available. Again, we had Mexico inflation come out. Mexico came in slightly lower than expected at 0.39%. Or no. Core inflation actually went up a little bit to 0.39% versus 0.38%. But regular headline inflation went down. Anglo Gold reaffirms 23 production guidance, 3% increase in quarter three gold production quarter over quarter, and is expected to step up again over the rest of the year in line with guidance. So AU is the symbol for that. How are they doing? Well, they're down a little bit. Gold's down in general, though. Like if you look at GC, gold's at 1950s right now. So gold is down. We can look at like Nvidia. Again, Nvidia, one of the big stories today, really ripping up. You can see it dragging up the market again. Right now, it's at 469 basically right now. And this is probably going to have a decent influence over markets just because it's heavily weighted. So it's probably, you know, it's pretty important to watch this. Again, guys, we got 50 minutes. You could. I love crab too, Kevin. You said you could have gotten a lot of king crab for that. I love crab too. $575. Yeah, I mean A5 is the most expensive. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I did, Yowzer. Like I did it once. I mean I've had it. I had actually had it before. I don't know if I had an A5 before, but like, you know, you gotta live a little bit. Like I make pretty good money, and so you gotta live a little bit. You know, you gotta enjoy life. If not, you're just kind of spending your whole life worrying about saving, and I do save a lot. So I mean, I might as well splurge on my tenure. What do you think of young people who support socialism? I mean, I think it's fine to support whatever you want to support. I'm a capitalist myself. You know, I think that most of the times historically that anybody's ever tried socialism, it's failed. You know, I think you're going to have corruption regardless of what, you know, structure you have. You know, and at least with capitalism, the people who eventually get the power have to work to get there most of the time. You know, wherein that, you know, where in that structure, it's something in which, you know, people are going to be corrupt, and a lot of times people are just given power in that regard, and so that can honestly make corruption a lot worse. And I think that's something that you've seen a lot historically, and a lot of the times the people who really want that, the people who really believe in that structure, say, oh, well, you know, if it was done correctly, you know, but it's like it's never been done correctly in the history of the world, because again, it's not, human beings are imperfect. We're not able to do that correctly, right? It's a great ideology if everything was great and perfect, but everything's not great and perfect. And so I think you have to be realistic. And I think in that regard, capitalism makes a lot more sense, because at least the people that eventually get the power have to work a lot for it, compared to people just being given power, which breeds a lot more corruption, in my opinion. I mean, there's corruption regardless, you know, but yeah, that's my take on it. How do you get to know there'll be news coming? I mean, let's just, we cover it. AMC up 2%, should be up 20% with earnings and actor strike ending. Yeah, I mean, AMC's it's up. AMC's up like 10% over the last couple of weeks, though. You know, so AMC was at under $9 or right around $9 like a couple weeks ago. So it going from 9 to 10 plus is a 10+% increase within a couple weeks, and that's not small. I think you just gotta have realistic expectations for it. Yeah, exactly. Hustle. I'm right there with you, brother. I don't spend a lot on crap. I love to save, but me and the wife do eat well. That's one thing we do. Yeah, for sure. I'm a big eater. Like my whole family makes fun of me. Like my wife and my kids is who, I mean, they make fun of me because anytime I buy food, especially if I'm buying food for like other people outside of my family, like if I've got like a guest over at my house, I buy so much food. Like everybody laughs and jokes around. Like if my mom comes over and you know, I buy like huge, you know, way too much food. And so my whole family, I'm an overspender in food for sure. Why is ASTR up over 60%? Bro, AMC is down 70% in the last 3 months. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, AMC, yeah, this is mostly from earnings, you know, and moves by Adam Aaron. All right, guys. Hey, we still got 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Jobless claims, unemployment numbers coming out. People still upset regarding AMC. This guy says we need answers. Revenue by 45%, earnings grew by 239%, earnings per share grew by 2.28, net cash improved, operating cash generated was 108. All that, and our stock is down 75% in a year. You're effing blank if you think for a second AMC is not manipulated. Every stock is manipulated. Don't get it twisted, guys. Every stock is manipulated, right? But the problem is that AMC is a movie theater stock that is rebounding from a global pandemic, and like movie theater views are down. Like views are down over the last like 10 years, I would say. Like theater views are down. You know what I mean? That's you got to look at the sector, not necessarily the individual stock, but the sector of movie theaters in general, I think. All right, guys, look at Nvidia. Do you think Cinemark is a better company? No. No, not really. If you look at Cinemark, the other thing you have to understand regarding Cinemark. Oh man, flow checker down. All right. All right, guys. Float checker. Float is 197.2. AMC float is about 197 mil right now. If you look at Cinemark, what's their float? You got to look at the market cap and float to determine. So yeah, Cinemark has 121. AMC has 198. So AMC has like a lot larger float than Cinemark. You know what I mean? So there's more shares out there for AMC. It's still much cheaper though. Cinemark's got a market cap of 1.86. So AMC is actually the larger company. What am I missing here? So okay, this is what I'm confused about when I'm checking this data. So, okay, so if we look at Cinemark versus AMC, look at Nvidia ramp up, dragging the market up with us, guys. Anyway, so we look at the shares outstanding, 198 mil for AMC. 198 mil. You multiply that times the share price, which currently for AMC is 10.24. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, never mind. All right, so yeah, the difference is that, you know, AMC has about 200 million outstanding shares, right? So AMC has about 200 million outstanding shares. Cinemark has 120 mil, so much less, right? And so when you think about that, even if Cinemark is higher than AMC, you know, even if Cinemark is 180, is more expensive than AMC. AMC has, you know, almost 70% larger float than Cinemark, right? And so even though Cinemark's higher than AMC, AMC is a larger company, you know, by about 200 million in market cap. Just to understand like the logic. Look at Nvidia still flying up, guys. Look at that. It's at 470s. So 470s. What are your thoughts on Elbit systems? I mean, I'm not sure what that is. I don't know much about Elbit systems. Yeah, don't know anything about them. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, is that like a lot of, again, the problem with movie theater sector in general is that people are streaming much more. Like Gran Turismo is a great example. Like, here's the reality, right? Is that the movie studios are not willing to take as much risk with theater movies anymore, because they're losing money when they debut movies in theaters, and it looks bad on them as well, right? So it looks really bad on them to debut a movie in theaters, and then nobody goes to see it, and then it finally comes out or whatever it is, right? And so instead of that, they're just kind of putting it straight to streaming. Like Gran Turismo is a great example. Like they might have played in some theaters, but they didn't have a theatrical release, and you could just rent them online whenever you wanted. Or they had a theatrical release, but they also allowed you to stream it simultaneously. Like as the movie came out, you could actually just stream Gran Turismo. I could rent it right now for $20 and watch it while it's in theaters. And so the prevalence of that over time has made movie theaters lose market share. It's just what it is. And I'm in AMC. I want it to go up. I hope it goes up. I hope Aaron can do the things that he needs to make the company do. But that's certainly not ignorable. It's something that you got to look at objectively. I get what people miss. What about Uber and Elf? Uber gapped up. Even if it initially reacted negatively, it ended up moving up over the next couple of days. So there's not always an immediate, like, again, number one, AMC is actually green relative to its earnings report. So like AMC is up over where it was with earnings. Like, the problem is that people are expecting too much. Like, they're like, and again, the other problem is social media. Like, on social media, everybody's saying, oh, a mother of all short squeeze is coming soon. It's coming soon. And there's all these different theories about how this crazy big squeeze is going to happen. And every one of them have been wrong so far, right? And so what happens is you got people basically making these crazy big predictions regarding AMC and like what it's going to do. And they're telling all the retail traders, hey, AMC's going to mother of all short squeeze soon. Just watch, you're going to get rich, is what they tell them. And you got a bunch of people just trying to grow a social media following saying that. And then over time, that snowballs into a lot of retail traders buying into AMC, expecting crazy big price action on the upside. And then when it doesn't happen, they cry manipulation. They say, oh, well, it's manipulated. And it probably is manipulated, to put it into perspective. But you also have to blame the people telling you unreasonable expectations, I think, regarding AMC. I think you have to look at it objectively. Yeah, I don't know anything about that one, Oleg. Again, Nvidia is really what's dragging the market up right now. It's manipulated which stock beat earnings and drop. A lot of them, dude. I cover all the big earnings reports. Google beat earnings and dropped. There's a lot of reasons, man. It's not uncommon for a company to beat earnings and drop. It really isn't. Like, again, I cover all the major earnings reports. I cover Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple. A lot of stocks beat earnings, especially this earnings season. A lot of stocks beat and dropped, especially this season for sure. Look at Nvidia, guys. Wow. Look at Nvidia flying at 470s. Man, look at Nvidia pump. Nvidia didn't really announce anything. I'm looking to see if I can find some other news. Nvidia is seeking a way around limits on AI exports to China. It's lining up 3 new chips. Nvidia planning to release new. Okay, that just came out. So Nvidia is planning to release new chips. Gap it up huge. Yeah, look at these moves. Wow. I'm for it. I mean, it's helping the market. How do you feel about Tesla? I like Tesla. I'm holding Tesla. I think when the Cybertruck goes live November 30th at the end of this month, we might see some big pumps from it. And so I'm holding Tesla in anticipation of that. Yeah, I think people just have to understand it's not unusual for the stock to have better than expected EPS and revenue and go down after earnings. It's not unusual. Yeah, conviction when you're wrong can be terrible. That's another thing. All right, guys, Nvidia helping the market. Will it sustain? Let me look at our poll numbers. We got almost 500 people here already. Hit that like button, guys. We need 15 likes to break 100. Hope Tesla drops a bit more so I can load more. I'm still holding my NASDAQ short for now. Watching closely. Good luck, Sam. Hey, what's up, Danny? Nvidia needs to leave some room for market open. Probably trying to reach the top Bollinger Band. Maybe. Oil long today. Oil's been down the last few. 30 minutes, guys. 30 minutes. But yeah, oil, Exxon at 103s right now. It's gapping up a little bit, but it's been down pretty heavily over the last few. I'm in cash at the moment. This isn't healthy, though. I ain't short. Well, what's not healthy about it, brother? Let me talk to him. Again, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just curious about, what your bias is. Dude, my son freaking loves Roblox, dude. I see you got 300K. You're a Roblox streamer or video guy. I'll tell him you were on my channel. He might get excited. How would you feel how would you feel you bring an A+ report card and your parents punish you? Good earnings should be rewarded as well. Yeah, I understand that. Again, though, like, you have to understand it's more nuanced than that. This is what I talked about yesterday. This is really important to understand earnings. And again, I'm not disagreeing necessarily, okay? What I'm saying is that I cover all the big earnings reports. Like, earnings season is one of my favorite times because my channel grows so much during earnings. Like, we were here for AMC's yesterday. We streamed Apple's, Amazon's, Tesla's, all the big earnings reports we stream. It's not unusual for stocks to react negatively to good earnings. It's just not that easy to make money. I wish it was. If it was that easy to make money, we'd all be rich. Again, a balanced market is not that easy to make money in. And what I mean by that is that if it was as easy as just sitting around waiting for a company to post good earnings and then buying that, everybody would be rich. I would just sit around, wait for a company to post positive guidance, EPS, and revenue, and click buy. And then, it would be like a money printer. It's just not that easy to make money because the true nuance of it is that stocks react to earnings a week prior to it a lot of the time. Not always. There's outliers. There's always different moves. But stocks react to earnings much earlier than this. And if you look at AMC, for instance, right? If you look at AMC, AMC, let's see, over a 10-day chart, AMC is green. It was at $9 10 days ago. You know what I mean? And now it's up to 10 plus. And so it's up 10% in the last 10 days. And so earnings are reacted to not as the earnings are released, but prior to it. A lot of the time it's they're getting baked in already. You know, so those are already getting baked into the potential move. And so a lot of the time when we get earnings released, people take profit or they sell or they do whatever they got to do. I didn't take profit. I'm still in AMC. I've been holding AMC for a while now, like a long time. But it's not as easy as just waiting for a company to report good earnings and then buying that dip. I wish it was. I really, truly wish it was. It's just much more nuanced than that. There's a lot more stuff going on under the hood of stocks. You know, it's just not a binary like reaction like that. It's just not. I wish it was. Took a small L in that trade. Yeah, I mean, Sam, Nvidia is dragging the market up right now. Look at Nvidia shoot up. Nvidia put out things saying they're going to plan to release new chips in China. They're gapping up big. They're up almost 473s. Nvidia is like the number 4 weighted stock in the S&P and NASDAQ. So like that's what this is Nvidia, you know, dragging the market up. And again, I'm for it. I hope it continues. All right, guys, we still got about 20 plus minutes until earnings come out, or until jobless claims numbers. And the market's always changing. Again, I think a lot of people don't cover many earnings plays, like especially in the AMC crew right now. And again, I'm in AMC with you guys, right? But I cover all the big earnings reports. It's not unusual for a company to beat EPS, beat sales, beat guidance, you know, and then go down. Like Google dropped heavily on a pretty good report because of one small nuance of the report, right? If you look at Google, it's since rebounded. And so maybe AMC will do the same, but Google dropped from 140s down to 120. You know what I mean? So Google dropped pretty big from their earnings report, and it was good. They beat EPS, they beat revenue. And so we see it a lot, believe it or not. We do. Looking at our poll, 61% think jobless claims are going to come in higher than expected. If they do, that will probably cause bullish responses in markets. Because remember, the market doesn't necessarily want a super big, robust job market. The market doesn't really want that. That's probably going to make the market react negatively if jobless claims come in low. If jobless claims come up high, that's probably going to make the market react positively because it means less people working, i.e. less people spending. And in that regard, you know, it's pushing down the labor market, which is what Powell said we need to see inflation to hit the 2% goal. Powell, over the last FOMC meeting, and he speaks again this afternoon, but Powell during the last FOMC meeting said that in order for us to hit our 2% inflation target, the job market has to go down some, right? And so that's why today's release is very important in that, you know, because we'll see if job markets are going down. Expectations for jobless claims, which is, again, how many people are filing for unemployment, are 215,000. So all right, well, good luck, Snow. The earnings only have the expected move priced in. If it beats or fails, then it's priced in during market hours. Yeah. Getting good grades is overrated. Understanding is the key. Sure. All right, guys. Nvidia flied up this morning. Let me see earnings plays. Let's cover some of them. Again, next week's actually pretty big for earnings too. I think next week we have NVDA should be out with their earnings too, I think, right? Did NVDA drop? I don't see them yet. So NVDA late on their earnings play. All right, so NVDA did report 126 loss per share, 182 expected, rev of 187 mil. They expected 192 million. So worse than expected rev, better than expected EPS is what I'm showing for NVDA. They're probably down. Yeah, well, they originally reacted upward, but they're mixed results and bad revenue. Revenue usually overpowers EPS, I would say. Like EPS profitability, it's margins. Revenue is kind of like the ceiling for how much they can make. EPS is how much they actually are, right? So like EPS is profit margin. revenue is the ceiling they have. But in that regard, like in terms of earnings reactions, revenue is typically reacted to more heavily, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's a case by case thing, I'm sure. But revenue missed pretty big here on NVAX, and so we'll see, what they do. Google had a pretty nice comeback over the last few days. Tesla is bouncing back up some too. The other one is Li Auto, which is supposed to release theirs super early. All right, so let me cover this. And again, we still got pretty close time, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button here, team. We appreciate it. We got Powell speaking later. Again, we will stream the entire thing. Completely live here right at 2 p.m. Eastern. Is this Twitter? Again, NVAX ended up showing fiscal year 23 revenue. $1.26 loss per share. Versus the expected. Again, NVAX is kind of sideways though. 182. Revenue of, where they post? 187. Expected 192.8. Right, others include LI. Fiverr ended up beating EPS, beating Rev, Yeti, TPR, Tapestry, Wix, TLY, AZN, EM, Sony. Sony posted this morning, missed EPS. I don't know what they did for Rev. All right, so again, there is the SPY ripping up. We got 20 minutes before jobless claims. Jobless claims expected at 215K, and Nvidia is still flying up at 473s right now. We got over 500 people here. Let's see if we get some good stuff. Powell speaking at 2 p.m. today. How will this affect Bitcoin? I'm really not sure how Bitcoin's going to move with it, to be honest. I really don't know. It depends. My equities portfolio just went green. It was mostly by Disney. Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. Oh, it's also by MGM. Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. Like, if I buy blue chips, most of the time I just kind of sit at them and wait. I know I can wait long enough to profit in most of them. I mean, this one's a little bit different, Yair, than yesterday's. Yesterday was nothing, but like this one is a panel with the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, right? And so in that regard, this one probably has a little bit more potential in terms of, talking about the economy. What set of services or safety net does Cali provide at 13.3% state tax rate that Florida lacks at 0%? All right, guys. Hey, we got time. SPY pull it back a little bit. Look at Nvidia, man. Nvidia has just been moving right now. Microsoft, nicely green today as well. Kind of getting dragged up. AI, they're all in the AI sector, you know. All right, so the Las Vegas Sphere reports a $98.4 million loss and the CFO quit. Yeah, I mean, somebody else said it's their first quarter. They literally just opened. I don't see how it's bad. 100%. You got to give them time to make money. All right, so somebody just moved 10,000 Bitcoin worth almost 400 million for a transaction fee of $10. That's why Bitcoin's useful. To be honest, scams have gotten so common. All right, so Nvidia breaking highs again, almost up to 474s. Again, guys, we got almost 600 people here live. Michael Davis, does the market usually react bullishly or bearishly to high jobless claims? So higher jobless claims currently, like recently, is most likely going to be a bullish reaction. Why? Because higher jobless claims means less people working, less people spending, and in turn, that is seen as a positive for inflation, right? Again, what Jerome Powell said we needed in order to see inflation back down to the 2% target is, we need to push down the labor market. And so higher jobless claims would indicate a more push down labor market, more people filing for unemployment. And I'm not necessarily agreeing that that's what I want, but that's what the market wants right now in terms of inflation. Oh, that's nice, pawn. Yeah. Yeah, there was news that FTX might come back soon under new leadership. Yeah, I mean, it's not really news. It's something like Gary G said that they could if they had new leadership. I think it's a horrible, horrible, horrible idea. I think that, it just makes no business sense. I don't think Gary G I think he's just pandering, to be honest. I think Gary G is just pandering. I think that the reality of it is nobody would trust a new FTX. Nobody would. It would be it would be a huge meme when it happened. If you're going to create a new crypto exchange, just create another one. Don't make another FTX. That's like making a new Enron. That's like coming out with a new branded Enron. Enron, not a scam. It's just a terrible, horrible idea. I don't know how anybody could even think that was a good idea. Just doesn't make sense. I don't know what he's thinking. All right, guys. Nvidia pushing up. What do you think about American Tower Corporation and its $40 billion debt as a real estate investment trust in this environment? I think real estate, especially corporate real estate, is incredibly sketchy right now. Incredibly sketchy. I think the corporate real estate market, business real estate, corporate real estate, I think there's a lot of risks, I think the commercial real estate market's in trouble right now. I think it has been for a while, and I think there's a high chance that it could continue. You know what I mean? All right, so Nvidia is still testing highs up there, testing highs. Tesla right around that 200 EMA VWAP level here. We got about 600 people here. We still got 10 minutes. Oh, 100% snow. Exactly. It just seems like a bad idea. I don't know what old Gary's thinking there. Hey, what's up, due diligence? Nvidia, yeah, Nvidia flying right now, team. Flying up. All right, guys, we got 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Also, guys, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. We're going to be day trading on TopStep X today, which is their new platform. Again, what they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill. And again, I want to show you something. Like you can see Nvidia moving up. Like look at the NASDAQ right now, which is a little bit more tech-based ETF. Like you can kind of see the NASDAQ's moving up and it looks very similar to Nvidia right here. And so one of the things people miss out on is like one of the ways to day trade without the PDT rule is the futures market. I think a lot of people miss that because the futures market, there's no PDT rule. You can day trade, buy market, sell market, buy limit, sell limit, exactly like, day trading stocks. There's just no PDT rule. I can day trade a very similar price action. This is an index fund that makes up the 100 largest companies in the world. A lot of it is tech heavy for the NASDAQ. And the patterns are very similar to large blue chip stocks, but there's no PDT rule in futures. And funded account programs are allowed. TopStep's the most legit one in the world. They give you a demo and they test your skill, and just taking the challenge builds your skill. It really does. Like some people complain, but the reality of it is some paper trading platforms cost more than the base combine on TopStep. The base one's $49. There's paper trading platforms that cost more than that. For that $49, you get free funding coaches, tons of resources, and they give you a demo account for $50K. And if you can make $3,000 in profit on that demo without losing over $2,000, they fund you $50K with a 90% split, and you get to keep your first $10,000 in profit. And so the way I always describe it, it's a great way to learn day trading with less risk. Instead of putting up thousands, you're putting up $49. And if you're good enough to pass it, you still keep 90% of your profit anyway. If you're not good enough, you probably would have lost more trading real money. And again, it's just a great way to do it. You can day trade, all that good stuff, and there's just less risk. And again, they pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year, fund thousands of traders a year. Great way to help support your boy in this channel. They are a sponsor of mine, and I'm always transparent about that. I'm biased, of course, in their favor because they pay me money. But I still think it's incredibly useful. I use them regularly, and if you want to check them out, here is the link. They're the most legit futures funded program in the world. Has that smooth jazz, cool sounds of John in the morning playing on the radio. What's your worst performing stock in your portfolio at the moment? Mine is Disney. Let me see. Mine currently, I believe it's Etsy. Okay, Honeywell is what I'm down the most on currently. Honeywell, I'm down about $125. My portfolio is about 25,000. It's not like a huge portfolio. My account's much larger than that, but like my actual portfolio is about 25K. Honeywell's the worst performing one. But I mean, I made it back like on Microsoft right now, my current shares, and I've already taken some profit. I'm up like 260. Netflix, I'm up over 100 right now. Tesla, I'm up, a lot. Apple, I'm up a lot. AMC, I'm down a little bit. American Express, I'm up. Disney, I'm up. But my entry on Disney is like $80, I think, or something like that. Google, I'm up. Home Depot, I'm up. Coca-Cola, I'm up. MGM, I'm up. Netflix, I'm up. Microsoft, I'm up. I think I said that one. Nike, I'm up. Oracle, I'm up. PayPal, I'm green. RTX, I'm green. Snapchat, I'm green. SPY, I'm green. SQ, I'm green. Target, I'm green. Tesla, I'm green. Walmart, I'm green. Exxon, I'm red. Walgreens, red. Tyson Foods, I'm red. then I'm also red on Pfizer. I'm also red on oh, no, I'm sorry. So the only one I'm actually red on is I'm red on Walgreens, Tyson Food, Exxon, Pfizer, Gold, Ford, Etsy, and ARM and AMC. Right, but in this portfolio, I'm up about 1,000 on the portfolio, like right now. Like in the current holdings, I'm up about 1,000 net. So we're not doing too bad. It's a good portfolio so far. And again, I just kind of sit on the blue chips. Again, I'm not really investing in penny stocks because most penny stocks fail, right? And so most of the stocks I'm investing in are longer term plays that I can sit on as long as I need to. Because again, if I sit on these, most of these are going to eventually go green. And so I've got all the time in the world. I don't need to sell right now. I don't need to short term trade this. I could just kind of sit on this and let it work for me over time. And that's been a very, my favorite strategy, at least. Sensual Sounds by John. Yeah, you have to pay about like $130 activation fee once you're funded. $50%. What are you investing in, brother? You day trading? What are you doing? If you're down 50%, you're trading too large, dude. Again, the biggest mistake most new traders make is that they simply trade way too large relative to their account size. So they ended up trading huge size in a very small account, trying to make huge percentages. Again, I know people tell people that you can make 5% every day or 1% a day. If you could just make 1% daily, what an obscenely unreasonable request. Just 1% a day? Oh, okay. Cool little 5% weekly, 20% monthly, well over 100% yearly. Like, no, it's just not a reasonable expectation. You got to scale down your size. Again, trading is not a get rich quick scheme. And the more you treat it like that, the more money you're going to lose. And again, they got people that are mostly just trying to sell you courses, telling you how easy it is to make 1% every day. Fugazi. It's unicorn dust. It doesn't exist. Like, I'm not saying you can't make 1% on any particular day. And again, a lot of the time what happens is that traders will make 5% in one day. Like traders 1 week will make $5,000, right? Like 1 week they'll make 5K, taking huge risks, and they might be down 20K the previous few weeks, right? So they'll make $5,000 1 week, and then they start telling everybody, yo, I make $5,000 a week doing this. It's like, no, you don't. You made $5,000 1 week. You're probably down overall, and you just took huge gambles to do it. Anybody can throw huge money out there and take big risks and have a big gain one day. What's impossible to do is recreate that every day over and over again, making over 1% a day. It's just impossible. It's not going to happen. If it truly existed, Goldman Sachs would hire you right now. You know what I mean? And pay you way more than your account's worth. Right now, Goldman Sachs would hire you if you actually had a system like that. If any of these guys selling courses actually had a system like that, Goldman Sachs would hire them right now on the spot, 100%. Right? You know why a lot of these guys aren't working for Goldman Sachs is because it's a fugazi. It doesn't exist. It's not real. Think about it. Anyways. We got 4 minutes, guys. 4 minutes. I mean, trader, I'm not going to say bad things about anybody, but unless they're showing you their broker statement every month to show you that they're doing that. And again, a lot of people might show their broker statement one time, right? But what does that mean? That means that they're showing you it only when they're profitable. If they show you their broker statement one time, 1 month out of 12 months, that means they were probably only profitable in 1 month. Because if you're selling a course, what better credibility than showing your broker statement profits every freaking month? Right? You would sell so many courses if you just showed people it. You know why you don't see it? Because they're probably only profitable. They wait and they cherry pick it, and they wait for the months that they're green, and then they show you that, and they say, look, I make 20K a month. It's like, do you really? Or did you make 20K 1 month and now you're, and then we're never going to see the broker statement again. Yeah, I mean, again, everybody can have opinions. It's all good. I'm not saying anything negative about him. I don't know, to be honest. Again, I'm not really trying. Again, I don't know, to be honest. So it's all good. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about just people in general. All right, team. Hey, we got 2 minutes here. 2 minutes. I'm gonna throw this bad boy in sub only mode. So if you haven't already subscribed, you know you want to do it now. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Hit that notification bell. Show us you support the channel. Hey, buddy, you got a shirt on? Nope. Nope. Okay, you can stay there. You just got. Yep. All right, guys. We got 2 minutes. All right, team. Again, 20 minutes. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on the stream. Yeah, I guess the big thing is like you don't want to look at these YouTubers like they're celebrities. Again, if people were really making money in gains like that, day trading, never mind. Hey, all right, baby. Hey, yeah, Jobless claims reporting in like a minute. All right, I love you. Yeah, that's fine. All right, love you. All right, Carol with the worst timing ever. All right, team, here we go. 215,000 is what they're expecting for jobless claims. 215K. $250,000 is what's expected here. We got Powell speaking later on. Let's do this. Here we go. Less than a minute, guys. Less than a minute. Let's see if we get good numbers here. All right, I'm going to pause this. The timer's a little bit off. SPY breaking highs into it. We got 30 seconds here. 30 seconds. Again, make sure your live button is red. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. You can also put it in fast forward mode if you want to make sure you're really caught up. That way you get the data as soon as it comes out, and we cover it as soon as it drops. All right, team, here we go. Here we go. Jobless claims dropping right now. 10 seconds. We got about 1,000 people here. 215K. And the job report comes out right now. No response. Numbers are late. I don't see anything. Numbers are late. Late numbers here, waiting for. Okay, they're out. 217K, slightly higher than expected jobless claims. 217,000 versus 215,000 expected. Continuing claims came in higher than expected as well. Higher than expected jobless claims report. This will probably make the market go up, I'm assuming. But it's still pretty early to tell. Again, higher than expected on both metrics. Jobless claims report 217K versus 215K expected. 217K versus 215K expected. And again, we're going to put this up on screen so you can see it. But 215 expected. They posted 217. And again, the market did react positively. I told you guys. Again, it doesn't mean it's going to hold necessarily, though. That's 217 versus 215. We had continuing claims come in as well, lower than expected. So far, the market has not really reacted. It's a little bit of an underwhelming reaction, but that's okay. My economic calendar showed 215 expected versus 217, what we actually showed up. I could look at like a different one. Let me check Market Watch. So now I'm showing we came in at 220. But we expected 217. I don't know. I'm showing basically we came in as expected. I'm not. Again, we came in over expected numbers. And again, market hasn't really responded to this that much. Market hasn't really responded. We'll put those numbers up on screen. So we made a post again. So some are expecting 217, or some did expect 218, so slightly lower than expected. Again, so what this means, this is how many people are filing for unemployment, is what this is, right? It's not going to have a huge release on markets because this drops weekly, but it's how many people are filing for unemployment. $10-year above that. But yeah, what I'll say about gurus, guys, specifically gurus selling courses, is that, again, one of the things that I really designed my channel to be like is like, I don't want to claim to be an expert. I don't want to act like a guru. I don't want to charge people for any of my content, because what that does is it forces people, like, if you think anybody is actually making 1% consistently every day, again, I've got some pyramid schemes to sell you. Okay, like, no offense, like, you have to be smarter than this. Like, you can't look at people like celebrities on YouTube and use that, like, that desperate for validation mindset to believe outlandish things. All right, nobody's making 1% a day every day. Nobody's making on average 1% daily consistently year in and year out. And again, if they did, they would work for freaking Goldman Sachs right now. They would work for JP Morgan. You know, if you think JP Morgan's not going to hire somebody that makes 100+% consistently every year, you are crazy. Again, and they're going to pay way better than YouTube. I promise they're going to pay way better than course selling. Okay, so please, like, be resilient to marketing. You know, in some ways. Again, I market people a lot. I post sponsors, and my sponsors are great. What I mean is, like, be resilient to people making outlandish claims, because if you're not, and you look at people like celebrities and you're desperate for their validation, and so you know what I mean, like, you're setting yourself up to be taken advantage of. Hope you understand. Yeah, I mean, again, I think a lot of people get stuck in that mindset. They don't really understand, right? They don't understand what's reasonable. If you can make 20, 30% year in and year out, you are the elite of traders and investors in the world right now. All right, the elite of the elite. Again, if somebody actually were making money like that, they would show you, like, the statements every time, because that would be the biggest, because if they did, they would be proving they're one of the best traders in the world, right? They don't even have to show the strategies. They just have to show the statements of them making, 100+% every year in their account. The reason you never see that is because they're not actually doing it. Like, they might get lucky and have, like, 1 year where they make 100% by taking big risks, but nobody's going to be doing that year in and year out. It's just not feasible. It's not a realistic expectation for anybody. And if you think it is, you've probably been sold by marketing, in all honesty. And again, it might hurt for some people to hear, because it's like they're betting their dreams on this. Like, I'm hurting their dreams right now by saying this, And again, it's kind of like the example I always use, and I've been saying this for years, but if you try to talk somebody out of a pyramid scheme as well, do they get mad at the pyramid scheme? They get mad at you for it, because you're attacking their dreams. They thought they were about to get rich doing something, right? So that's why you get so much kickback when I say something like this. Again, be resilient to this type of stuff, please, guys. You got to be. If you're in the trading world, you got to be, because if you're not, you're setting yourself up to be taken advantage of. Yeah, Powell's speaking today. No, he's doing a panel. So Powell is doing an interview panel at the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, is what he's doing today. That's what he's doing. Again, Nvidia still ramping up. SPY bouncing at the volume weighted average price, still moving up. It's at 470, 450s. What's the difference between unemployment numbers and jobless claims numbers? Unemployment numbers is a monthly metric, a monthly and quarterly metric. Jobless claims drops weekly. Its initial claims is new filings for unemployment. Oh no, making 1% account growth per day. Essential oils, can't tell her nothing. How you don't fall asleep with this music? Attacking my music, bro. It hurts. It hurts. All right, guys. Hey, we're gonna be day trading at the opening bell too. Again, I'm a day trader. I love day trading, but I'm also an investor and everything like that. But you gotta have reasonable expectations for it. You know, it really is something that's really important. Have reasonable expectations. I'm not even claiming to be some super great day trader or anything like that. You know what I mean? Because again, that's not really what my channel's about. I'm trying to be the anti-guru. Yeah, so again, yesterday somebody said a Bloomberg analyst said there was an 8-day window for the SEC to approve all 12 spot Bitcoin ETFs at once. That initially made Bitcoin spike. Where's Bitcoin out now? Again, AMD, Nvidia, SPY, Q, all ripping up right now. Bitcoin's still at 37. AMD sitting at, where's AMD? AMD is what sparked this latest Nvidia run. AMD breaking highs again. Not as green as Nvidia though. And so this run is sold like mostly Nvidia, I'll say. Essential oils, dude. Yeah, I see a lot of marketing for them too. Crypto stream. We did one yesterday. We'll probably do one today too. Yeah, definitely top 3 most anti-guru in the game right now for sure. Definitely top 3. I've been saying the same thing for years though. It's not this is what I'm saying right now is not anything new. I think we just got some new people here, and again, it's all good, guys. I just hope you understand. Like, no matter what, it's all good. It's all love, but you just gotta have realistic expectations. The reason I'm so critical of those crazy outlandish percentage per day, like, you know, concepts is that day trading can be a very profitable thing if you do it correctly. Like if you learn to day trade consistently and you're able to, that'll be a skill you'll have for the rest of your life. It really is. But again, making over 100% a year, making 120% every year in and year out, is just not really something that's going to be very possible. And so you got to have realistic expectations for it. You can make big gains, and big gains are great, but the larger amount of money you try to make per day, the more risk you're taking. The example I always use, and again, this is a great example, is the martingale roulette strategy is a great example of a lot of the time the more risk you take, the more you lose, right? And so another example is blackjack. Like if you count cards, right, and you go to a blackjack table, even if you have an edge in blackjack, right? Say you have an edge counting cards, and you have a bankroll of 20 buy-ins, right? There's still a pretty big percentage chance that you're going to destroy your whole bankroll with only 20 buy-ins. Why? Because you're trading such a small amount of money, and variance is real. The larger your bankroll, the less variance there's going to be long term. And so in that regard, like if you try to make more with less, like if you try to take trades for a much larger percentage of your account, if you try to trade and make a much larger percentage of your account every day, you're probably going to lose more. And the larger risk you take, it might work sometimes. And again, the reason I said the martingale roulette strategy in the beginning is because the martingale roulette strategy just says double your size each bet. Right, so you go to martingale roulette strategy, playing roulette, and roulette, you got a little bit less than 50-50 chance, right? So you bet $1, you lose. You bet $2, you lose. You bet $4, you lose. You bet $5, you win, right? And so with the martingale roulette strategy, you got to lose over 6 times in a row to actually lose. And so for a lot of people, they think, oh, well, you'll never lose 6 times in a row. You don't understand statistics and probabilities in that case, right? You will lose 6 times in a row. And when you lose, you're going to lose everything you had made prior to that plus more. And so I guess the point is taking such large risks in your account, trying to make crazy big percentages every day. It might work sometimes, and you might be able to make 1% or 2% or even 5% trading a very large portion of your account any specific day. Again, the problem is that, and again, I've said this 1,000 times, the problem is that eventually the check's going to come, and eventually you're going to destroy your entire account doing that, because again, eventually it's not going to come back. Eventually, you're going to lose everything if you trade that way. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And a lot of people that think that you can make such big percentages every single day without fail usually are in that stage where they've made money, but the check hasn't come yet. And again, if you take big risks, eventually it will. You got to limit your risk. Trade small is what I always recommend. That's my advice to people. But anyways, AMD bouncing at the previous closing price. Yeah, Top Step's dope, dude. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, I'll post this link here. Again, Top Step's a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased in their favor, of course, because they're a sponsor of mine. But I think they're very useful. So speaking of size, in day trading, you're taking large risks. You can limit that risk in day trading by trading on a funded account program. And most day traders lose, right? And so it's no exception here. Most day traders are going to lose, regardless of whether they're on Top Step or whether they're on Thinkorswim, right? Most day traders lose money. The benefit of Top Step is that it's so much cheaper than putting up the money up yourself. Again, when I first started day trading, I lost thousands of dollars in the first 2 weeks doing it. Most people do. And so you can either put up thousands of dollars trying to look cool in markets, or you can try a funded account program like Top Step. They give you a demo in futures and they test your skill. And if you can pass the test, if you can hit 3,000 in profit on the base one without losing over 2,000, they fund you 50K with a 90% split, and they pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year, fund thousands a year. And again, it's the best of both worlds. If you lose, which is going to be most people, you're only out $49. Generally, much less than most people are going to lose putting up the money up themselves. But if you're good enough to pass it, 90% split, they pay out millions every year. It's best of both worlds, in my opinion. It's a great way to learn day trading with less risk. You have limited risk. You learn how to trade under pressure. In that regard, it makes perfect sense. And so again, check them out. Here's the link. But yeah, it's only futures. But the futures market, again, if I look at the SPY, right, this is basically the futures market. The SPY is basically futures. It's so much look at the similarities. A lot of people don't realize how similar these index funds moves to the large cap stocks. Look at Nvidia and then look at the SPY right here. It's very similar price action. Look. Again, you can day trade essentially this. Here's the futures contract for the S&P. Again, you notice something? Again, I can day trade this in futures with no PDT rule on the left side. I can day trade this left side here, no PDT rule in futures. I can day trade buy market, sell market, all that good stuff, no PDT restrictions. This side right here in the futures market. And again, look at Nvidia BOP, and then look at the E-mini bounce. And so, again, a lot of people should be day trading futures. A lot of new traders try to put up cash. They try to, day trade penny stocks because their account's small. Most of y'all should be trading futures, in my opinion. But again, I'm biased, of course, because they're a sponsor of mine. Yeah, with Top Step, you have some skin in the game. You have some pressure to succeed, right? Which is really what you want to focus on is pressure. You got to learn how to trade under pressure. That's the big benefit. All right, guys, we still got 45 minutes. Bro, commercials is annoying. I think you meant are annoying, Kyle. But that's okay. Again, we do what, 4 plugs a day in a 4-hour stream, 3-hour stream. So what, 1 plug every 45 minutes to an hour? I think that's pretty reasonable. We don't do any plugs for the first 2 hours. If you listen to the radio, you're going to get a commercial, every 20 minutes? You know what I mean? Except in this case, we don't sell a course. We don't claim to be an expert. We have no paywalls behind our content. So you better believe we're going to have commercials. And again, you can cry about it. In the end, we're going to keep doing them. Is AMC tanking down? Look at Nvidia start to run here. So Nvidia popping the market up. Whoa. What happened with AMC? I'm missing out on something here. What just happened? So, did somebody just sell some shares? Anybody know what's going on with AMC right now? Somebody just unloaded. Did some executive sell shares or something with AMC? Very strange. This is a pre-split price of 82 cents. Is it more dilution? Is there an offering announcement? Oof. Okay, so AMC Entertainment initiates a $350 million common stock offering. Man, this is a terrible time, terrible news. This is a bad sign for AMC. You know, if they're really that healthy company-wise, they're not going to hit you with an offering right now, guys. I hate to say this, but if they're that healthy, they're not going to hit you with an offering. Yeah, they wouldn't need to dilute more to compensate, unfortunately. It's a bad sign. 350 million dilution. Yeah, that's rough. Offerings, man. Again, if they were that healthy, they wouldn't need to do an offering right now. You know, you see a lot of people arguing on Twitter about how healthy they are. But again, if they were that healthy, they really wouldn't need to offer more shares and sell more shares. To put it into perspective, for all those that don't know at home what this means, okay, so an offering, guys, there's multiple different types. The main one that you guys have probably heard of, if you don't know what this is an IPO, an initial public offering. It's the first time shares are being sold to the public. It's the initial public offering, the IPO. There's also secondary offerings, which is what this is, which means that, like, okay, a company, if they're not making enough money from their normal business, they will dilute the company, which is they'll add more shares to the float. The float is how many shares are floating around out there, right? How many shares the company has out there. You multiply the shares, the float or the outstanding shares by the price of the stock, and you'll get the market cap, basically like how much that company is worth. One of the ways that companies can make money if they're not making enough money from their normal business is by selling more shares and diluting the company, adding more shares to the float, and they profit from this, right? So they are adding how many shares? So 350 million common stock offering. So again, they are going to be adding 350 million common stock offering. So they're going to be adding what's the AMC price at right now? So it's an ATM offering. What's the price? Did they announce a price, or I'm assuming it's an ATM offering, right? Does anybody know? I'm assuming it's a at the market offering. So let's just call it $10. Oops. Let's just call it $10. So again, they're going to make $35 million from this offering, right? But they're diluting the company. You know, they're adding 35 million shares to the float as well. Not a good sign. Offerings are typically a desperate sign. John, you're missing the NASDAQ buys, dude. I'm surprised you aren't trading. Open should bounce too. I'll trade at the open for sure. What's the NASDAQ doing? Yeah, the NASDAQ's flying up with Nvidia. It's been moving up. It just broke highs on the NASDAQ. Nvidia's been ripping up too. Yeah, reverse split hit with an offering. Taylor Swift. It's okay. They got Taylor Swift. Yeah, Taylor doesn't hit till the fourth quarter, which is worse, reverse split or offering. I would say an offering's probably worse. A reverse split's just keeping the price high to avoid NASDAQ, or what is AMC listed on? To avoid listing requirements by the exchange they're on. is what a reverse split does. An offering, I would say, is probably worse, but they're both not good. All right, so cannabis legalization support hits a 70% record high as Republicans join the majority. Honestly, cannabis should be legalized by now. Like, it really should. It's not really an arguable thing. Like, people can argue, oh, why should we legalize another drug on the streets? Because you got to have an even standard of legalization. You can't sell vodka at gas stations and then cry about cannabis being legalized. Like, vodka is somehow better for you than cannabis. You know what I mean? Like, we got to have an even standard. The problem is that the political machines have just scared so many people, mostly to benefit the pharmaceutical industry, because if cannabis is legalized, which cannabis does not cause physical dependence, right? It does not cause like it doesn't cause like bad withdrawal symptoms, unlike alcohol, which you can actually, you know, croak from alcohol withdrawal. And so if cannabis is legalized, people aren't going to need like pain meds as much anymore. They're not going to need nausea medicines as much anymore. And so pharmacists or pharmaceutical lobbyists keep it, you know, pharmaceutical companies lobby against it, as well as law enforcement in the prison industry. But that's a different story completely. Either way, it should be legalized. It's good for taxes. Let people do what they want to do as long as it's not hurting anybody else. And it's unfortunate that it's not legal already. I'm not a big cannabis guy. I'm not saying I never did it, but like I was young once, but I was always way too paranoid. Like, you know, but hey, boomers think cannabis is a gateway drug. Yeah, I mean, the gateway drug argument's silly. You're not going to go from coffee to crack, you know. Cannabis has about the same ticks. Again, I've told this argument before. They need to let me go argue this, right? They need to let me go argue this against politicians, because the reason cannabis is a gateway drug is because it's illegal. And again, I know this from experience, from when I was young, right? I know this from experience, is that you go to somebody that sells it, and eventually the person that sells it's going to offer you some other stuff. You know what I mean? And then that's how it becomes a gateway drug, is because it's illegal. You got to go to sketchy drug dealers to get it. If they sold it at actual dispensaries that were regulated and they checked to make sure everything was good, you wouldn't have that aspect of it. The only reason it's a gateway drug is because it's illegal. If you want it to not be a gateway drug, legalize it. You won't have some sketchy dude offering you other stuff. You know what I mean? That's the only reason it's a gateway drug. The only reason. But yet again, they don't really care whether it's actual gateway drug or not. That's just their argument. Yeah. Everything in moderation. Yeah. Reggie. Sounds like finding options trading just after learning stocks. Yeah. Again, I'm pretty, like, I definitely, like, I'm against cannabis use, especially for young people. You know what I mean? But I'm also a capitalist. I believe in a free market. I think we should be able to do whatever we want to do as long as we're not hurting anybody else. And I think we should have that standard throughout everything, you know, regardless of anything else. Any other argument, any other lobbyist, it's unfortunate that the standard's not that. But Again, AMC. Where's AMC at now, man? AMC's down to $8 a share. Again, luckily I'm green on some other stuff like Disney again today. Disney had a great earnings report. And again, cannabis stocks were a thing for a long time. Tilray was one of the biggest ones. Now you look at Tilray, it's at $1.74. The reason is because everybody thought it would be legalized by now. People blamed, one party holding the seats, and then when the other party held the seats, they didn't do anything about it either, and so it's just kind of like both sides are getting. The biggest anti-cannabis lobbying group in the world is a company called Abbott Laboratories. If you want to know why it's still illegal, but I digress. AMC breaking my heart, my achy breaky heart for AMC. At $8 a share right now, guys, for AMC, $8 a share. I'd probably just tell him it was a skunk, Jeff. You know what I mean? Again, it's the same logic can be made, Jeff, with if your neighbors are sitting around drinking vodka in their front yard every day and your kids can smell the aroma of it. Are you going to be okay with that? Yeah, that might be true, Fred. I mean, I think competition is going to open up stock-wise, right? And again, we're talking about cannabis stocks too. Like Tilray, one of the largest cannabis companies, not doing well. ACB, Aurora Cannabis, at 47 cents. So a lot of cannabis stocks have really struggled. They had their heyday. We had like what we called a cannabis boom back in, I think it was like 2018. Well, I mean, you can definitely smell it, Jeff, number one. Number two is vaping solves that problem as well. Make a law that says you can't vape, you know what I mean? Or you can't smoke outside, in public. And I think they have laws like that pretty regularly too. There's ways around that, you know what I mean? I don't think that's any argument for keeping it criminalized. Again, my biggest problem is that we're wasting tax dollars on it. Like, we're wasting tons of tax dollars, incarcerating people for it, as well as like in law enforcement dollars. Anything in green or red today? SEC should halt AMC and investigate instead of crypto. They should be focusing on what happened since the before reverse split. I disagree, B10. I definitely disagree about, never mind. In Finland, yeah. Glad I got puts. Yeah, I mean, the market's starting to come back down, but Nvidia been in a beautiful trend up here, beautiful trend. All right, so it's past 8 a.m. We still got over 600 people here, so slap the like button, hit the subscribe button. Turned into the AMC call. They were saying they're all Swifties. I'll have to turn it off. Yeah, Nvidia, guys, flying up. If you got Nvidia puts, you're probably struggling right now. Nvidia has had one of the biggest comebacks. Again, to put the market into perspective today, right? This is what you guys have to understand, is that the market has mostly ripped up this year, specifically from Nvidia and AI. Nvidia and AI has caused the market to fly up over the last 12 months. And if you look at some of the crazy moves that the market has made, like here's a yearly chart. Most of this was from Nvidia. Nvidia a year ago in November was at $140. a share. Now it's at almost $500 a share, and this is single-handedly drug not only the market up but tech as well. Like it's Microsoft had AI drop. The AI boom is real this year, and it is ultimately what caused this big bull run in 2023. Now the latest slump that we've had, right? If we look at the SPY, just to stop focusing on AMC as much, if we look at the SPY right here, the SPY followed AMD up or Nvidia up. So the SPY was at 370s to start the year. We're now at 440s basically right now, and so the SPY had been on this big slump since basically July. The SPY had been going downtrending since July. And a lot of people were starting to get really bearish. I saw a lot of people in the stream start to get bearish. I was nervous as well, to be completely real. Like, I was very nervous about this pullback. I said if we dropped under 400, I thought that would be a horrible, horrible sign. But the problem, but one thing that saved the market is Nvidia. Nvidia kind of pulled us out of the slump. You can see prior to yesterday, we had 8 green days in a row on the SPY, which is the largest green streak in the S&P 500 for 2 years. We hadn't had a green streak like that in years on the S&P 500 and the SPY. And again, it's mostly due to Nvidia, which, again, to put it into perspective, Nvidia was sparked by actually AMD earnings. AMD earnings came out last week, wildly benefited tech and AI in general. Nvidia flew up with it. They're combating the chip ban and overseas, and all of that stuff combined is helping the tech market move up, which in turn helped the SPY bounce all the way back up to 440s. Nvidia is almost back up to 500, and Nvidia tapped 400, so Nvidia's up literally, almost. Nvidia's up about 20% right now, a little bit over 20%. If it hits 500, that will be a 25% gain in like 10 days if it can hit 500 in the next few days, which again is possible for sure. I'm not saying it's going to happen though. Nvidia currently at 475s right now, so just a crazy gain. All right, guys. I think it's going to run before earnings. You forgot to mention that Nvidia saved the Wall Street Bet page. Yeah, I'm sure after AMC and GameStop slumps, they've been kind of not losing credibility, I guess is a better way to put it. And again, I like Wall Street Bets. I thought the AMC squeeze was good for everything. You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was good for everything. But again, problem is we're not in 2020 anymore. 2021. All right, team, we're going to get ready to day trade some today. Again, we're going to be day trading on Top Step X. We lost about $300 in this funded program yesterday. We're trying to get funded in our third funded account. Trying to get funded in our third funded one. Again, Powell speaks. Remember, Powell speaks. I want to leave a window up for NVIDIA right here. Powell speaks at 2 p.m. today. We're going to stream that live as well, of course. Again, here's the NASDAQ right here. This is basically the Q in futures. You can see we're mostly in a decent trend. Let me put a 1-minute chart up. Nice little run on the NASDAQ. Again, this is basically the Q. Get rid of the time and sales. Make sure I can mark it in, mark it out. There we go. Get my trades up so you'll be able to see my trades. We ended up losing, like I said, about 300 yesterday, and then closing it down. And I like the trend currently right now, so I might buy a little bit of the NASDAQ. I could also move to the E-mini. I'll go ahead and buy a piece. We bought one contract in futures. And again, this is the futures market. It can move against you quickly, but day trading futures, again, very similar to day trading stocks. There's just no PDT in futures, so I can do it. All right, so we're at 15, 25, 20. Nice little pop back up. Let's see if we can hold this. We're up 20. Need a little bit larger moves, and we got some room to let it work now too. 25, 50. All right, so we just made a cool 50 bucks basically just now in about, what, 30 seconds trading futures. Again, I think we got to take larger risk. I'm not used to the 150K combine here though, but PDT rule is the pattern day trading rule. It means that you can't day trade stocks freely on a margin account if you have less than $25,000 in equity, right? And so one of the ways you get around that is by trading futures. There's no PDT there. You can day trade with, small amounts of money. You can use these funded account programs, all that stuff. I'm gonna buy this again. So we just bought the NASDAQ real quick. I don't think this was necessarily the right move or the right entry. We got a little cushion on the day. We're down 15 bucks currently. 50 bucks. Yeah, I don't know if I like that pullback. 30 bucks. 25 bucks. I'm gonna go ahead and get out small right there and then just wait till we got a better entry price, I think. All right, guys. Again, we got Powell, Big Papa today. Hey, buddy, you all right down there? My son just came in here. You doing okay, buddy? All right, good. A little more fun talks. Jack is here. Jack's smart. All right, so we did get a little pop up here. Again, guys, we still got 11 minutes or so until the market opens. I got out of Disney too early. All right. All right, so we are moving up. Maybe I should have held that buy position. Microsoft, we're still so green on this one. Let me fix this real quick. I gotta put this up so make sure that hold on. No, so the combine, if you got to make $3,000 in profit to get funded, right? So what they do again is they give you a demo. The base one's 50K, and then with that demo, if you lose over $2,000, you fail the challenge. If you make $3,000 while following their rules, and again, the rules are like you can't make more than 50% of that 3,000 in a day, right? So you can't make over $1,500 a day without getting penalized. So it takes at least 2 days to get funded. And they give you a little bit of room. Like if you make $1,520, most of the time they're going to allow that. They're going to say, hey, it's fine, and they'll allow you to get funded in 2 days. But basically, if you can make $3,000 in profit without losing over 2K and following their rules, then they fund you 50K with a 90% split. There's multiple different times. There's an express funded account, and then there is a live funded account. There's just a lot of different types. I've been funded on 2 different accounts, or in 3 different accounts. I got eliminated on one, and then I'm funded in 2 other ones currently right now. All right, so again, SPY rip it up here. Should have stayed in that long position. Dropping in for a quick spec. What's up, Spec? Nice, just took off from the moon. Yeah, NASDAQ ripping up. Again, it's mostly it's not from Nvidia this time on the NASDAQ, though. I'm looking at other stocks. Again, Apple finally bouncing. Yeah, Apple moving up a little bit. Microsoft. Let me see if there's a sector moving. Microsoft's up some. It's not really Nvidia moving up over the last like 5 though. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Anybody know what sector could be moving? Oil? No. AMD just ripped up and broke highs. That might be it. AMD's pushing up, although Nvidia is pulling down a little bit currently. Yeah, that's my Telegram. Hey, nice SPAC. Thanks so much, man. Again, if you guys have any ideas about what sectors are moving right now in the market, let me check like Home Depot, Walmart. Not really moving. Anybody know what sectors are causing this pop recently? Hey, Jack. Turn that down, dude. Thank you, buddy. Love you, man. All right. My son came in here not too long ago. He's hanging out in the corner, playing a game. No, you can only program in Scratch. He's not playing games. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm reading.
Okay, yeah, you can program in Scratch and do stuff. Let me clarify. My son is sitting there programming right now, not playing games. He's not allowed to play games right now, but he's pretty good at Scratch, though. You know, he's been learning to program, and he's pretty solid at it. Anyways, NASDAQ pulling back a little bit. I'm still trying to figure out what sector this is moving here. Semiconductor. Yeah, I'm looking at AMD, but Nvidia is not really bouncing up. Walmart's moving up a little bit, so it could be retail. What's another sector I'm missing? It's not oil. UNH. Not there. I have to look at a heat map. Hey, thank you guys. Yeah, I try. Coinbase flying up right now. Maybe Coin. Yeah, SOSXX semiconductor ETF. They're up a lot today for sure. Let's see. I'm still struggling to figure out what other sector. I don't think it's semiconductors right now. AMD is moving up though, so maybe it's AMD alone dragging it up. But the Nasdaq's got a big pop. Yeah, I see Coinbase. Yeah, he's programming right now. He's programming different stuff. Coin and AMD definitely. MicroStrategy. Yeah, MicroStrategy up to over 500 for a little bit. It's at 499s now. Still testing that level. That's also my degrees in computer engineering. Yeah, I program a little bit as well. I'm mostly a front-end dev, though. Like, I'm mostly React Native, front-end development, JavaScript, you know. Know a little bit of Python. But I'm mostly JavaScript dev myself. And so I taught him a little bit of that. But he learned Scratch. And, like, Scratch is kind of like a kid's programming language. And he kind of builds stuff with that. There's some pretty, like, in-depth games on Scratch, though. It's actually a pretty cool language. Riot Mara. Yeah, Mara's flying up. Python's good to learn, Joe. It's good for trading. Like, Python's really trading. Meshes with trading really well. It's the AI language that a lot of learning, you know, software uses. Machine learning. Python's very literal. If it's your first language, though, unless you're learning specifically for like trading in general, but if you want to learn just general programming, it's probably better to learn a little bit harder language than Python. The problem with Python is that it's so literal and easy that it's hard for people to transition to more complex syntax languages. When I first started, I learned Python as well, and I thought that was the right move. But when I first started programming as well, I learned Python, and I thought it was the right move. But as I've kind of matured as a programmer, I think it would have been better for me to learn something more difficult in terms of syntax, because it's better to learn something hard and then move to something easy than learn to something easy and move to something hard, right? But it's subjective, you know, and people have different preferences there. Hey, nice rock. Java, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, language, it's not as big of a deal as long as you can learn like Boolean and conditional statements and variables and all the different, you know, aspects of programming, object-oriented programming, you know. Hey, what's up, Tiny? All right, guys. Hey, we got 8 minutes. 8 minutes until the market opens. Again, we got Powell speaking later on today. That'll be fun. Again, leading into the open, guys, I'm going to show you one of the tools that I'm using into the open. It's called Chart Prime, Trading View Indicator Service. I can use it in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. And again, I want to show you like the power of this tool, just to kind of give you some understanding of like what it is, how you can use it, you know, all that good stuff. Because if you, and again, you're gonna, what the first thing I'll say is that there's some days where the patterns work better and there's some days when they work worse, right? But if you look at scalping and day trading, right, on Chart Prime, this is Chart Prime here, right? It gives buy, sell signals. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can.
But again, looking at this, and these don't repaint as well. These don't repaint, not from my understanding at least. And again, they are a sponsor. I can't guarantee you're going to profit or anything like that. But if you want to check this out, like, look, just back test this for a split second. Like, look at this, right? Like, just look at how often they worked and didn't work today. Like, we can back test this ourselves really quick. Sell signal here, nice drops. This is a 1 minute chart too, so scalping related. Buy signal here, beautiful bounce. Sell signal here, beautiful drop. Buy signal here, nice little bounce. Sell signal here, beautiful drop. Buy signal here, beautiful bounce. Literally right to the next sell signal, drop, buy signal, bounce, sell signal, drop. Literally called the bottom here, buy signal, bounce. Sell signal, literally basically called the top, buy signal, bounce. Strong sell signal, drop, buy signal, bounce. It's literally worked every single time from what I can see. And again, maybe there's some of these that didn't work, but again, these don't repaint. And this is called the Market Oracle Pro, right? So it's the more short-term one. If I put it on long-term, I can also use the regular Market Oracle. And again, you can see the Market Oracle Pro. I can also see like flag patterns on the chart here, which are really, really nice. And again, I can also use the Market Oracle Pro on a longer-term basis. And it looks like it would probably work here as well. Like, check it out. Strong sell signal was called, a while back, and it worked. Sell signal here worked a little bit. Reversal signal, that's the regular Market Oracle with these reversal signals. Strong buy signal worked, sell signal here. Again, one of the ways that you can have a little bit better results on Chart Prime is look for engulfing candles to show up at the same time. Those usually help both metrics, both the regular Market Oracle. Look for candlestick patterns in general to help, right? So if we get rid of the Market Oracle Pro, look at when a reversal signal and some type of candlestick pattern shows up within like 4 candles of each other. Look at the 2 engulfing ES symbol and the reversal signal, beautiful drop. Look, same thing here, reversal up and the bullish hammer, beautiful bounce. And so when you get both of those combined, it can be powerfully accurate. And again, this is such a small piece. I can use this in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. A lot of people use these for like Bitcoin. I can put up long-term time frames of an hour, a day, whatever I want to use for chart. I can put up short-term time frames like 30 seconds on TradingView. I can put up smart money concepts. They have different oscillators that if you learn to use can have a really powerful edge, in my opinion. And again, I think it's like if you use my link, I think it's around $50 a month, and there's a 7-day money back guarantee. And so again, check them out. Again, I think there's tons of value to be had for what they offer. And again, it's just custom TradingView indicators. But in my opinion, again, I was always against services like this until they actually showed me what they have, right? And once they actually showed me some of these things, it opened my eyes to how well some of these algorithms can move in charting. And again, if you want to check it out, it's called Chart Prime. Here's the link. Powell comes out at 2 p.m. You sure this isn't just confirmation bias? Try different pattern recognition methods on historical data until it gives nice guesses. No. I mean, confirmation bias is fine. I understand we want the patterns to work, and so we're more likely to believe they work. But I think what I just showed isn't really fakeable. You know what I mean? Like, you can see how many candles moving forward afterwards they work. And again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money or anything like that. Again, I've back tested a lot of different ones. And again, some days, they're going to have more trouble, and some days they're going to have less trouble. But I think the way I use them is like some days no patterns are working, right? So I just kind of shut down trading for the day. And if you get multiple that don't work, you just kind of close it down and come back the next day. But then there's some days where they work very powerfully, like they're very obviously working. And so again, everybody's going to have different preferences, but I think they work well enough for sure. But again, they're a sponsor, of course. I'm definitely biased. You're going to do a how to set up Chart Prime video. Setup's pretty simple. They have a lot of tutorials on their site. So if you sign up with them, there's already videos about that. You know what I mean? Yeah, again, back test it if you don't believe. You know what I mean? And again, human nature is human nature. Some people are just not going to make money no matter how good the symbols are because they get emotional. But repaint means they don't go away and then come back to look more profitable than they actually are. Confirmation bias means, okay, here's a good example, trading related, right? A trader can tell you that you can easily make 1% a day. And, that's essentially impossible to do so consistently and here in and here out. Like, make 1% every day is impossible, right? You're never going to make 1% every day. But somebody can tell you they make 1% a day. And you're more likely to want to believe that because you want that to be true. I want that to be true. I want to believe that I can make, 5% a day. right? But it doesn't. And so because I want that to be true, I'm more likely to believe it is true, right? But in the end, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's possible to make 1% on average every day, of course. And again, I think a better way to put it is that you can make 1% some days. Other days you're going to lose 1%, right? But if you're more than 50% accurate in that regard, then you're still going to be profitable. It's just every day's not possible. It's one of the reasons, right? Like somebody buys a course in trading, right? And the course might be one paragraph: buy the dip, sell the rip, boom, John's day trading course. But if I spend $5,000 on that course, I'm more likely to say, oh yeah, super worth it, right? Because that's what I want to be true. I want to confirm my initial, belief, which is that I want that to be true. I want the course to be worth it. I spent $5,000 on it. I really want it to be worth it because I spent all that money. And so I'm more likely to believe it was and trick my brain into thinking there's some crazy value in this course, right? Whenever it could just be the most basic, simple course ever. Confirmation bias is a powerful thing too. But again, I don't think I'm necessarily using that on this. I'm just showing you guys whether it worked or didn't work over the last day. Powell at 2 p.m. Yep. Hey, thanks so much, AJ. I appreciate it. So, like your channel, I subscribed. I love the education you provide and how you take time to answer questions. You seem to know your stuff a lot. Keep it up. Hey, thanks so much. All right, so here we go. Here's the opening bell, guys. Good luck. All right, here we go. Did my music stop right at the open? The music stopped. There we go. Yeah, ding, 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 ding. There's the opening bell, guys. All right, so we got the SPY pulling back a little bit. Nvidia just broke highs of the day all the way up to 478 right now with the opening bell, almost up to 480. So big moves for Nvidia initially at the opening bell. It's already up a lot in pre-market, and it's one of the stocks that dragged the market up. But look at it retracing very quickly. It tapped 478.20, and then it retraced all the way back down to 475. So big volatility on Nvidia at the opening bell. Mara, other crypto-related stocks moving up. Let's see if we can hold these gains. AMC initiated a $350 million at ATM offering. Dilution. So they're diluting by 350 mil is what they're doing for AMC. That's why they're down so much. There's only about 250 trading days. Yeah, you're not going to make... I mean, again, if anybody has a system where you can make 250%, and that's not even including compounding, which is going to be much more than that. So if you're at 100% and you make 1%, the next day you take 1% of 101, and then the next day you take 1% of 101.1, and so forth and so on. And so that compounding effect will make you much more than that. But not even including compounding, 250% yearly is, if you were able to do that and recreate that year in and year out, you would work at Goldman Sachs right now. You'd work at JP Morgan. Again, Nvidia at 476. You would buy Goldman Sachs, yeah. And again, the reason I get so much kickback from saying the stuff I say is because I'm hurting people's dreams. They want to believe it's true. They want to believe that they're going to be able to take $1,000 and turn it into $50K if they just buy some dude's $500 trading course on the internet, right? I'd like to believe that too, of course, right? So they're more likely to believe it, and it hurts whenever I come around and kind of burst that bubble a little bit. But again, my job is to help traders, even if I overshoot a little bit and maybe I'm too pessimistic and skeptical. You know what I mean? I think it's, in the end, it's good for traders in that regard, regardless of what they want. Truth hurts. Overarching point I'm trying to make, truth hurts. Anyways, we're 3 minutes into the opening bell. SPY has completely turned down. It's under 438 right now. It's under 438. Yeah, 100% Cal. you definitely wouldn't be teaching people how to do it on YouTube. You know what I mean? That's the crazier part. It's like, okay, bro, you got a system that's making you 1% daily, and you're gonna teach it to everybody on YouTube? Of course not. Of course not. Nvidia bouncing back up. It's at 475. NASDAQ. SPY is actually down a little bit more. Mostly it looks like Walmart, retail, Home Depot, all down quickly at the opening bell. So retail's dipping right now. Target, Home Depot, Walmart. NASDAQ's a little bit more tech heavy. Hey, buddy, turn that down a little bit, okay? It's too loud. You're getting a little bit too close. All right. Yeah, all good, James. What's up, dude? Again, AMC testing $8, 350 million share dilution. Not share, $350 million dilution. I think it's gonna be like 38 million shares they're gonna add to the float. Again, if AMC was that healthy, I'm in AMC. I wish this didn't happen, but if they were that healthy, they wouldn't dilute like this, especially after good earnings. You know what I mean? Again, Nvidia is still holding at the VWAP. Very flat day at the open for Nvidia, but Nvidia has moved up so much. Correction starting. It should soon. 11 times green has literally never happened. Maybe. Yeah, for sure, Sam. You can make 1% on any particular day. Of course, you can make 5, 10, 15% on any particular day. That's certainly not impossible, and that's probably pretty common. Again, recreating that day in and day out, even if you're just averaging 1% a day each year, is virtually impossible, you know. But don't tell that to, you know, YouTube course sellers. Again, Nvidia starting to bounce up at 475. All right, guys. Again, I'm just going to sit back. It looks like a short day. Nvidia starting to break down. Nvidia's looking weak. I'm going to go ahead and short this. 25, 45, 50. All right, we scalped $50 in profit. We're up about 65 on the day, scalping this. All right, SPY dumping down here. So SPY, it looks like to me retail is what's dragging the market down some right now. Home Depot down, but it's actually bouncing back a little bit. Target down, Walmart down. So yeah, it looks to be retail's dragging the market down. Retail's slumping down. Tech's doing okay still. Where's Tesla at? Tesla's down a lot too. So yeah, Tesla, retail, dragging down. Nvidia just slumped too. We've had 5 green candles in a row though, or 5 red candles in a row, but Nvidia's still falling. I'm gonna short this. A little risky. All right, so we just made what? I don't want to FOMO jump in this. Bad fill on my end. Market orders are punishing me a little bit, and that's okay. All right, Nvidia dumps more. 15, 35. All right, we just took what? Yeah, these market orders are hurting me right here for sure. 90, 100. And now 65. Okay, dude. I don't know what's going on. This feels terrible. I got to use a limit order here. Let me, yeah, I definitely didn't like that. It said I was up 125, and then it only gave me 65 in profit, literally half. I mean, we're green on the day slightly, but still. Again, so many choppy candles. Disney, whoa, look at Disney, guys. Wow. Disney up to almost $90 a share. Take a little bit more off there. Yeah, I just cut the rest of my Disney trade. We're out. $90 a share from 80 is pretty solid. Yeah, I know it's the volatility. It's all good. I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna be able to scalp this as easy. All right, so we're gonna take another position here. Again, this is a large account, so like we've got some room to add to this one too. I'm watching Nvidia very closely. All right, 50, 60, 65. We're gonna lock that in. So yeah, we just made another 65. We're up about $100 on the day right now, about 100. Watching Nvidia. Nvidia's right at the 200 EMA. The SPY's right at the previous closing price here, and so it is time for a correction day. We had a small red day yesterday, but it wasn't very big. All right. NASDAQ breaking down a little bit. We're watching Nvidia very closely. That's kind of the rock we're looking at. We're also looking at Tesla too. But again, at this point, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red candles in a row now. All right, we finally got to bounce back up. I'm going to short this. Finally got filled. Up 20, 25. Down 25, 30. This should help us a lot. 40. All right, so we just made another $30 in gains. Slowly bouncing back. Again, we're up about $120 on the day now. I will short this some more. Very big bounce back. We're going to have to let the NASDAQ hit it. All right, so we just added a little bit more to this. Again, I don't mind adding some more to this, fixing my average a little bit. Getting punished. See, there's got to be an easier way to fix my share size here. There we go. We bounced right at my entry price. Fluctuation here. I think we can take some risks, but a big bounce back in Nvidia is hurting me for sure. Again, I build up a cushion and then I take larger risks, guys. I hope you guys can see the kind of system I'm using, but the problem is Nvidia is still ramping up and I don't trust this. I want to give it time to retrace back down. I'll learn how to use this platform. Retracing. I don't want to add any more to this. And so I really want to give it time. I don't want a limit order. Why is it a limit order? Yeah, Nvidia rejecting at the VWAP, so I guess I'll give it some time to go down. This is a 150K combine here, and I'm not really used to trading these, and so I don't mind like taking a larger loss than normal because I'm not in a 50K combine either. But you don't love to see it. I just want to see if Nvidia rejects the VWAP here and we get another test down there. Watching it now, it doesn't look like it is though. Yeah, we're gonna cut it, and then I guess we're gonna cut the rest. So we gave back our loss of the day. Now we're down like 100 and something on the day, unfortunately. Big bounce back. Maybe I should play the range more. But again, this is the first time I'm trying 150K combine. And so I don't have to make money, or even if I have to reset, like, it's all good. I know I'm going to feel bad if I do this, but I kind of want to jump right back in because I see Nvidia struggling to crack the VWAP here. And now it's pushing back up. So let me wait before we get some confirmation first. Nvidia just looks like it's struggling to break. All right, we're going to try it. I probably should have just stuck with one contract of the NASDAQ. Yeah, the good thing about the 150K combine is I do have some room. Where's my coffee? Tesla bouncing back though. Let's drag it back. All right, so we're up 75, 80. All right, just made $70. I do like that rejection on Nvidia. I'm using Nvidia to gauge what the market is doing, but mirror ripping. Bitcoin, where's Bitcoin at? I'm assuming Bitcoin's running back up too. Let me swap this out. Look at the E-mini a little bit, see what that's doing on a 5-minute chart. I probably should try to go with chart prime indicators too now. I'm gonna find it. Where is it? There it is. Big breakdown on the S&P. You can also look at, like, they have this tilt indicator, which kind of shows you. Yeah, I should have followed chart prime. Chart prime gave me that sell signal. When was that sell signal? The sell signal was right before the opening bell. Should have followed it. Bitcoin almost up to 38,500 at over 38K right now. Disney just broke highs again. Watch Tesla too. Tesla's starting to bounce back. My equities portfolio is definitely looking a little bit better. Tesla down to 217s. So it's tried to bounce back, but Disney almost up to $90 a share right now. Almost up to 90. Yeah, we got Powell later at 2 p.m. Everybody hates AMC. Everybody's mad at AMC. I don't think they hate it. They're mad, right? And I'd be mad too. I mean, I'm mad too. I'm in AMC. People are mad. AMC back up to $9 though. But the offering is a bad move in my opinion for AMC right now. I don't think they should have done that offering. AMC started to bounce back though. Now, I guess I'm kind of bearish still, but I think anything could happen. So I guess I'm kind of bearish. I'm down 194 on the day. So honestly, it could be worse. You see. Trying the E-mini right now. Getting punished though. Okay, gotcha. Go back flat. Let's see if this breaks. There we go, starting to flush. Yeah, I'll put up the trades so you can see, or you can't see it, I guess. All right, so we're green, 25. There we go. That's nice. 30, 50. All right, so we just scalped a little bit, made another 50 on the day. So we're down 140 bucks. It could be worse, I guess. Especially with this account. This is a small account, or this is a large account, so we got a lot of room. Yeah, I think people are mad about the offering. I'm kind of mad too about it though. You know. CNBC laid off 10% of its digital team. All right, big bounce up. Again, this is mostly driven by Nvidia. The interesting thing though, if Nvidia starts to run back up and test highs again, it's going to drag the whole market back up. That's one of the reasons I'm not trading as much right now. Because if Nvidia starts to look at Nvidia on the right side, if it starts to rip over 475 and really hold over the VWAP, that's when another bull run can continue. Somebody coming at Tim Sykes on the internet. I'm kind of eating popcorn over here in the corner. So somebody posted about Tim Sykes. Tim Sykes makes money off text alerts that he front loads. And then somebody else commented, but out of tens of thousands of challenge students he taught, there has been a few traders that became millionaires. Doesn't that success rate prove his teachings work? I mean, this is obviously a sarcastic response because he's saying out of tens of thousands of people, only a couple have like made over a million or whatever. And then Tim Sykes responds, quote, laugh out loud, who said there's been tens of thousands of challenge students? Only a few hundred even bothered to study enough. This industry is so pathetic, full of liars, it's almost enough to give up, but I won't let you piece of issues win. It only drives me to teach more. Somebody says, I trusted your call. Can you explain this if this is true? Tim Sykes says, not at all. I don't make a dime from trading. I donate 100% of my trading profits to charity and teach students never to follow any alert that anyone. Yeah, but you're also teaching without actually trading, though. Again, I'm not trying to, I'm neutral on this matter, guys. But like, if you don't even trade, even if you made money 10 years ago, the market's changed so much. Penny stock markets definitely have. Like a lot of the times, penny stocks, like people would front load off these newsletters, right? So they'd get these newsletter pump ups and the penny stocks would soar, but that's not really the same anymore, right? It's not really like that anymore. The newsletters don't really get that type of volatility anymore. And so it's completely different now than trading 10 years ago when certain people might have made all their money. You know what I mean? So like, it's not the same thing. This post is funny. All right, so we are bouncing up again. It looks like me not shorting was the right move because again, the market is ripping up right now. That Aaron guy will make his millions. I'm saying new investors don't touch. Maybe. Any chance Powell will dump us? I mean, yeah, there's a chance for sure. But There's a chance I might win the lottery 5 times in a row tomorrow. Doesn't mean I'm going to. Disney up a lot, over $90 a share now. If Disney doesn't want to rip, it is ripping. It has been ripping since yesterday. Sorry, I've been watching other stuff. No, I haven't seen one yet. It's not going to predict every upward move. That's not a realistic expectation for it. All right, guys. Again, we are going to be back with Big Papa Powell later on today. Yeah, I'm kind of reading this drama. All right, guys. So again, market is kind of rebounding, neutral range. Nvidia did rip up like I talked about. And so again, these are the kind of nuances that you can start to learn and understand, right? So like I was really thinking about going short. I thought there was like a bearish flag pattern, wedge pattern that was showing up on a short-term chart. The reason I didn't take it is simple, is because Nvidia started to fly up. And I thought if Nvidia broke over 475, which again, if you look at Nvidia right now, right, this is the 475 level I talked about. Look at exactly what happens when we did break that spot. And so again, I talked about 475 right here. And then look at the huge surge you get afterwards in volume. As well. And so that stopped me from going short, because I understood that Nvidia, a very heavily weighted and influential stock, could drag the index funds like NASDAQ 100 and the SPY and the S&P up to a point in which shorting it probably wouldn't be a good move. So market still wants to head up. Again, a lot of this is from Nvidia. Nvidia just flying up right now. You know, Nvidia made a big rip and now is pulling back. So here's the SPY. You can see how similar it looks, but we'll see if we get some better action here. We did take another NASDAQ trade that we're watching right now. We're up about 85, 90. Go ahead and get out for another $80 profit. We're down 27 on the day. It could be worse. You know, we're up, yeah, we're down $27 on the day. Kind of a flat day. Again, I'm kind of looking at Nvidia here. And again, to put this into perspective, I did use a buy symbol signal on chart prime right here. So here's the buy signal that showed up, and again, we have pushed up a decent amount, and you know, again, we're still pushing up. So I'm just going to go ahead and scalp a little bit more there. And yeah, Again, I can't guarantee it's going to work every time. I think a lot of Nvidia is up. I think Nvidia has been ramping up and like following the market up big. Nice little upward increases. Big volatility affected my profits, but today, but could be worse. Nvidia's starting to test highs up there. Might scalp a little bit more. I just took another NASDAQ position, and we just locked in a little bit more gains. We're actually up. Again, this buy signal, again, people can say whatever they want about chart prime, but this buy signal came in here, and look at how much we pushed up on a 1 minute chart. So again, short term, the Market Oracle Pro has, again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. They're a sponsor, of course, so I'm biased, but we got into these last 3 trades after this buy signal. You can see we got all of them in the last like 2 minutes. We made 45, 80, 10, lost 5, made another 45, went from red to green on the day, slightly green. We're probably down a little bit after commissions, but basically made our money back from that big loss. So again, we'll see what happens moving forward, guys. Y'all be good. Powell speaks at 2 p.m., so we're going to be back later on today. Again, if you want to check out Chart Prime, link is in the description. If you want to check out Top Step and trade on a funded program like me, link is in the description. Great way to help support your boy in this channel. Love you all. Again, we will be back. Yesterday for Powell, we had over 6,000 people here. We had about 7,000 people live watching the stream. We got like 20-something thousand views total. So it was a fun stream. We will be back later on today. It's probably going to be freaking chaos in here. So if you want to have some fun with a lot of people in here, again, come back at 2 p.m. Eastern time today. I'll see you guys later. Love you all. Y'all be safe. Appreciate the love, guys. Y'all be good.